Hi everyone, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here. I do apologize if there's some noise in the background. I have the windows open. It's so nice out right now. It is like low 60s, so fresh air. We all need it once in a while, so I hope you'll bear with that. Also, if you are a new viewer, please feel free to subscribe, or if you're a returning viewer and you haven't subscribed yet, if you're subscribed and if you hit that bell, you'll be notified when I post new videos. I do try to post weekly, barring holidays or travel, but otherwise, yeah, I do try to post weekly. So, very exciting. I've got so much exciting stuff to talk about, you guys. For shop updates, I don't really have much like shop update. I was working on Advents. More dyeing for Advent, which is super exciting. I did that yesterday. Saturday is definitely my dye day, usually, or Friday nights as well, but definitely yesterday. Did a lot of dyeing. Dyed up a couple more colorways for the Advent, which is very exciting. I am fighting it, you guys. I am fighting the urge to cast on Habitation Throw. I just, in my head, have committed to the Habitation Throw for my Advent this year. I normally always do shawls. If you've seen any of my prior videos, for Advent time, I usually do work on shawls with my Advent, and I love the Shake It Up shawl. That's like my favorite pattern ever. It's not specifically for Advent, but I've adapted it for my Advent knitting. So this year I am pretty positive I want to do the Habitation Throw, which is actually a blanket. I've not done a blanket yet. I had talked about doing a Stephen West blanket a while back, and I haven't cast that on yet. So I've yet to do like a big blanket. And the Habitation Throw, I don't exactly know the dimensions on it. It's a throw, but I would be using my Advent, which is all fingering weight yarn, and it's varying bases, which is super awesome. You should check out the listing. I will have the link below in the, if you look at more information below this video, it'll all be there. And yeah, I'm really pumped. I just have a couple available still for pre-order, and I will leave that as pre-order up until, yeah, I think it has to be pre-order until November, because I'm not shipping them until November. So I wouldn't want to lead you astray. So yeah, they'll just be pre-order until November, or they sell out. And I'm very excited. So excited, you guys. It's beautiful. It's a fade, and it's going from a couple different colors that will be in this fade, and I'm very, very excited. Yeah, I will not give too much information, but it's just going to be awesome. Anyway, really, really excited. Advents. I love Advents. Okay, so we're going to get into something here. This is, it's kind of work in progress. I'm going to call it a work in progress because I'm going to be doing a project with it. So this is one that you've kind of seen here and there. It's actually a spinning project, but it's going to then become a hand knit project. So I finished my very first fleece, spinning it. You guys, I think it's been like a year. So I don't spin often. I knit a lot. I knit every day, but I do not spin every day. So it takes me a while to get through stuff sometimes, but I'm, like I said in my last video, I'm gonna need to kind of step that up a little because I have a lot of fleeces that I'm gonna talk about later in this video. So stay tuned. If you wanna see fleeces, they're coming. But here's my hand spun. So this is my very first, and I really am excited to show you guys the progress. So this is my very first skein. My very first skein, my second attempt at spinning, period. So you can see there's definitely some really big thick and thin spots. This is a Cotswold fleece. So it's a nice long staple. But learning curve. So I was learning, and yeah, very much thick and thin. So this is around 116 yards. And then here is some that I showed you already. And you can see there's much more consistency in there. And then these are my final two skeins that I just washed. So they're still a little damp, so I haven't skeined them up. But you can see my consistency has definitely improved. I still have some thick and thin spots because this was an extreme, I mean, granted, my skill level needs improvement as well, but let's be real. This was a very, very, when I say dirty, I don't want to say like bad. I don't want to put it bad like that. This sheep got into some major hay, let me put it that way. There is still quite a bit of veggie matter. It's getting better, but you can see some right there. Maybe if it'll focus, but there's some veggie matter still in this, even after removing it by hand, washing it, carding it and removing a bunch there, spinning it and removing it. Oh my gosh, if you guys saw my lap and the floor around where I'm spinning, it is covered in like what looks like wood shavings because of how dirty this was. And yeah, it was a process. This was a very labor intensive spin, but it took me forever. But the really exciting part is, I want to say this is like a worsted. I'm just going to call it worsted because it's probably between a DK and a worsted, but it's really fluffy. So I'm going to say worsted. I'm going to call it worsted. I haven't tried doing wraps per inch, and I have not knit with it yet, but that's my guess. So overall, with all this wonderful yarn, I have, I think it's 980, so almost 1,000 yards, which is more than enough. I should definitely be able to make a little coat with that. So that's my goal. I'm going to make a little coat out of my hand spun. My first ever hand spun is Cotswold. Cotswold is notorious for being a little bit on the toothy side, so it is very much a workhorse yarn. It'll be very durable, so it'll make an excellent little coat. And let me tell you guys, so oh gosh, this yarn. Anyway, I had to break it like when I was because I still have actually just a hair more, probably just a couple more yards, because I ran out of room on my bobbins. So I actually do have just a little bit left to ply up. So I guess I lied. I'm not completely done, but literally I have like maybe 5 yards left to ply. So I feel like that's like I could say I'm done. But anyway, so I probably have about 995 or 985 yards of wool. So I definitely have a lot. And like I said, when I had to break it because I couldn't put any more on the bobbin, I struggled so hard. I pulled so hard. I tried pulling far away really hard. It is really hard to break that yarn. So it's going to be very durable. I feel really good about that as a coat. So I'm excited. And it's gray. So it's going to just go so well with everything because it was a, I'm trying to think what they call it, but it was a multicolor fleece. So it had blacks, whites, like black colors, white colors, some slight brownish areas because of like, well, crispy bits actually is frankly what it was. The parts of the wool had been scorched by the sun. So for the most part, it was black and white for the most part. So when I combined, and there was some gray. So when I combined that all together, I've got a beautiful gray, like barber pulling going on with like dark gray areas, light gray areas, like cream. It really turned out amazing. So I'm really excited about that one as a super fun project coming up. So that's awesome to have that done. And then I can use that for an upcoming project. So that's a work in progress because it's the base that I can then make something else out of. Pretty excited. All right, next is my test knit that I've been working on, which is awesome. I'm getting there. I'm so getting there. I'm excited. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I told you guys last week that the test knit is due on June 10th. I am getting there. I'm so getting there. I can do this. I can do this. All right. So here is where I'm at so far. We have major progress. So here's where I was last week. I was on the lower back here, and I now am, I've completely bound off the bottom. So you've got this cute little ribbing on the bottom, really cute detailing under the arms, cabling, and I've done something amazing, you guys. I got the button band done. My button band ever. Look at that. There's a buttonhole. I'm so excited. And I'm so grateful. Okay, so I was just a little nervous about doing the button band. And I was starting to just get a little anxious about it. I was like, I know I can do it, but I was getting anxious about it. And just as I was literally going through that little bit of a stupor of feeling anxious about it, Taylor E. Owen, the designer of this pattern, which is, by the way, the Kingston Cardigan, if I didn't mention that, she did a video. Oh my gosh, a video about how to create a button band. It was perfect timing. And she showed it, and that was so helpful. So helpful. That's exactly what I needed. And after seeing that, I felt so much more confident. And then I did the button band. Literally, after watching the video, I did the button band. And I got that done. And as I said I think I said last week. Maybe I didn't. Actually, I didn't, because I ordered them. I think I ordered them at the beginning of the week. It's all a blur, you guys. I did not sleep well this week. So, and frankly, it's because I stayed up late. It was my own fault. It was totally my fault. But I finished the button band. Basically. But I ordered buttons for it from a really neat little shop that is out of Ontario, Canada. Pretty sure it's Ontario, Canada, and they sell all kinds of buttons. I think it's called sorry, it's my husband on his little motorbike thing outside. He's working on it. Okay. So, this... Alright, I'm going to shut the window because that's going to be really obnoxious. Bear with me a minute. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I've got the buttons. They actually came in the mail really fast. I wasn't supposed to get them until Tuesday, I think. And they came super fast. I got them yesterday. So I'm really excited about that. So these came from Canada, and they are vintage buttons. And I do think they're legitimately vintage. I don't think they're messing with me. But they're beautiful. I got a set of 6, so that's what I need for the sweater. I did not get an extra button, you guys. I know. I'm a little nervous about it too, but I've never needed one. But they're beautiful. So they are copper, or brass, I should say. They're brass. Buttons with this leaf motif on it and bubble, kind of a bubble thing. They're really beautiful. And I think they're called, leaf vines metal buttons, but yeah, they're really beautiful. And that will then go on here on the button band when I finally get them stitched on. I probably will do it last, frankly, because I know it's not going to take that long, but that's what it's going to look like. So I'm really excited. I think that's going to be beautiful. And they're very reasonably priced. They have some, substantial weight. They are metal. But this is a really nice little cardigan, and I want it to be substantial. And in my head, I wanted metal, and I wanted vintage buttons, so I'm really excited that worked out. Very excited. So here we go. That is where I'm at so far with my Kingston cardigan, and I am getting there. I'm now working my way down the sleeve. I am holding 2 skeins of yarn together. It's fingering weight. It's Corriedale base, and it is my Bordeaux colorway dyed up on it. So this is held double, and I can definitely see a little bit of change going on here, but I think it's okay. It's not stark enough that it's gonna be weird. I think that looks fine. Because the sleeves obviously were on hold. And now I'm working on them. So I'm doing the decreases for the sleeve. These are long sleeves. They're going to go down to my wrist. I'm actually going to try to follow the directions to the T, because I know, she said, you could extend the length and you could extend the sleeves, of course. but I really want to follow her pattern because you want to give her honest feedback. So I'm really excited about that, and yeah, it's looking really great. It's looking really good, and it's so cute. I think this would be excellent to wear over little dresses. I think so. With jeans too, but definitely with a little dress. So that's the Kingston Cardigan by Taylor E. Owen, and that's the Bordeaux colorway. Next is my other deadline-driven project, which is the Whippersnapper by, did not write down who it was by. Let me look at my notes here. Bear with me. Is that crazy? I didn't. Triona Designs. And it's using my Multifarious Nature yarn in Frost, Odette. Yeah. So Frost, Odette, Winter is Coming, which is a beautiful variegated speckled yarn if you want something like that. And then we've got Lake of Shining Water, and last but not least, Ocean's Deep, which is a beautiful, super dark, wonderful blue. This is on my, my brain. I've completely lost my train of thought. Alpaca, oh my goodness, super fine alpaca, 20% or 60% superwash merino and 20% nylon. There we go. Good grief. Oh. So getting there, I have a finished sleeve. Look how cute. How cute is that? I did the super stretchy bind off for the little cuff. So it's very nice and stretchy, so they'll easily get over a little kid's hand. And then it could also, if she so chooses, she can roll up the sleeve edge if she puts it on the little one before they are like able to fit in the full sleeve. So I mean, she could get a lot of use out of this if she would like. And this is the 2 to 3 year old range that I did. I did the largest size that the pattern calls for. How cute is it? How cute is it? Oh my gosh. So I'm working on the second sleeve here, as you can see. I'm using my Multifarious Nature analog row counter. So helpful. So helpful. This is a paid for pattern. There are so many repeats of this round of color, and so I don't end up with extra rows. It's a lot easier, especially with the textured section, to use an analog row counter, because to manually count the textured section is very confusing. Because, oh gosh, it just is. Take my word for it. So, barring, you know, like writing it down every row that you're doing by hand, which you could definitely do, is so much faster, literally, to just slip this marker to the next hole and you move it, and that is your counter. It's amazing. If you don't have an analog row counter, you can look on YouTube to watch videos of how to use it, but I sell a couple different ones I've made, and I love them. I just love it. It is such a time saver. So, it will help you so much. So yeah, analog row counter, excellent. But yeah, it's so cute, isn't it? And I used frost between each color, so it helps to like kind of frame them in and break it up. So cute. So this needs to be done, I would say, not by June 10th, but very close, because June 24th is when I need to gift it. So it needs to be done, blacked, washed, wrapped by that time. So my goal is to try to finish both by June 10th. There's my little mental goal. We'll see if I can do it. We'll see if I can. I feel pretty good about it right now. So my goal is to finish both of these by June 10th. And that's the Whippersnapper. Again. All right. So now on to some other excitingness. All right. So I told you last week I shared my Fleece acquisition, which is huge. Oh my gosh, you guys. If you're not interested in fleeces, by the way, if you just want the knitting content, thank you so much that you joined me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. For those of you still with me, you guys are not going to be disappointed here, okay? So I got all my fleeces. I got a lot. Like I said, 5 of them. Oh, so many. But here's the good news. So it was really good that the very first fleece I purchased was full of veggie matter. Dirty, but definitely full of veggie matter. Second 2 fleeces that I purchased were very dirty, full of lanolin, and a little bit of veggie matter, but a lot of lanolin because they were merinos. So a lot of work, and I still have to comb all of that, like card it, which is like, oh, that's a lot of work because I hand card them. But I kind of like the process when I do it, so I know I'm different. So I think some people do. I think people that spin like the process. Anyway. So the fleeces that I purchased, I'm really excited because not only are they beautiful, they're beautiful, which I was hopeful, but they are going to be, I feel like I shouldn't say this. I feel like I'm going to jinx it. I feel like they will be easier, there we go, easier to clean and it's like process than the prior 3 fleeces that I've done, which to me is very hopeful because then I think I'll be able to process them quicker. Not that I'm all about trying to get things done fast, but I do want to at least have them in either the form where I can spin them, card them, spin them, process them. As they are, I still have to wash them. So that is its own process. But the really good part is they're not like caked in lanolin. They definitely have lanolin in them, and one in particular has quite a bit of lanolin in it. Wait till I show you. Just wait. But I'm very hopeful. I'm very excited about this, and I will definitely be purchasing from this seller again. I've purchased from them in the past. Definitely will buy from them again. Yeah, they're really nice looking fleeces. Okay, so I'm just gonna start from the majority I got are Gotland. I got Gotland, which I've always wanted to get and never can because everybody always gets them before me. I think 2 of them are lamb fleeces, which again, awesome. And one of them is a Shetland fleece, which I've yet to use. So I'm excited about that too. But I'm going to show you, oh my gosh, you guys, these are so amazing. Anyway, please bear with me. I hope you'll stick around because these are gorgeous fleeces. So the first one that I got is the one that needs probably the most cleaning. But by the most, I mean lanolin. It's lanolin, so it's just going to be a little bit like my merino. But my hope is because it's not as tight of a crimp. It's a smoother crimp. Hopefully it will clean faster. So here is the first one. This is going to be probably a light gray. Pretty sure that's what she said, is it's going to be a light gray. But it is very full of lanolin. Like, there is a lot of lanolin in this. That's why it's got that golden hue to it. This one is pretty lanolin rich. But it is beautiful. And I'm really excited about it. I think this is about, oh yeah, there we go, I've got it. It's 1.75 pounds. I got this for an extreme deal. Like, extreme deal. I'm really excited. So, this one was my 1.5 scores. I've got a couple scores, but this one was an amazing score. So, I've got to clean it. This one's going to need some soaking, but I'm really pumped. Not much veggie matter. So, I'm really excited, you guys. So, the first one. The next one is, oh, beautiful. I think this one's the lamb fleece. I think I had 2 lamb fleeces, so this might be one of the lamb fleeces. If not, the other one might be, but this is a beautiful gray, like darker gray. Darker gray, but it also has like light, almost blonde, like white blonde tips to it. So like a white, but it's super soft. Like even the ends are soft, so they're not brittle, because You really need to check that kind of thing. And they all have beautiful ping. So when you hold it, you hold a good staple by your ear and you pull it taut and release, and it should like make a ping sound. So very much, they all have good ping sound and not brittle ends. So absolutely beautiful. I'd show you out of the bag, but it took me a lot to get these out of the bags in the first place. So we're not gonna open them back up again. The two that I had to rebag, I can open up, but these I can't. I just no. I think I buried the card on this one again. It has some blacks, some really dark gray, and then this also has some of those like almost blonde tips. But this is majority gray. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's super soft curls. I'm so excited, you guys. These are beautiful fleeces, absolutely beautiful. All of them ran around like 2.5. Those two I think were 2.5 pounds. That first one was 1.75, and then the other ones I think. Well, the one is 3 pounds. That one, oh my gosh, that's the Shetland. Hold on, I've got one more Gotland. Okay, so here's a Gotland I can open because I can actually get it closed again. I'm pretty sure. See, I said that. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. So it's a beautiful gray. Another beautiful gray. I love my grays. I just do. And I don't think I'm going to dye them. I really just think, this one's got some dirty bits. It's got some dirty bits, but that's just, you'll get some cleaning action going on there, and it'll be great. I'm really excited. I am super pleased with these purchase, and this will keep me busy for a while. Definitely keep me busy for a while. So here is the last one, the big kahuna. Her name is Black Dahlia, the sheep this came from, and her name's amazing, and so I wanted it for that, but then her fleece is stunning. Oh my gosh, just wait. This is a Shetland. This is my first ever Shetland fleece. The Gotlands are my first Gotland fleeces. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you guys. It's beautiful. So, overall, she's this really beautiful, dark, like brown, but black. And then there's this beautiful, like golden brown tips to her locks, but they're not brittle. I tested, they're not brittle. It's so soft. So soft. There's some lanolin in it, but it's lightly lanolin, so it's not overly lanolin. It's Shetland. Shetland's notorious for not being like super lanolin heavy, which is awesome because that will make the cleaning process so much easier. So much easier. I always like to wash all the fleeces, period. You just want to do that. But it will be very easy. Or easier. I'm going to keep saying easier. Easier. But it's huge. So this one was 3 pounds. So this was the most expensive fleece out of all of them. But it's huge. Like, that's a lot of wool. So to give you some perspective as to like how much yarn you can get from a fleece, I'm trying to remember because it's been a year. I think my Cotswold fleece, so the one that I got 985 yards out of, the Cotswold was, I think, 1.75 or like 1.5 pounds of wool. So, kind of put that into perspective. I could probably get a sweater's quantity worth of wool out of all of this, in other words, which is awesome. Because when you go through the process of cleaning all this wool and then, carding all of it, and then spinning all of it, You want to make something that is going to be worn, loved, and cherished. And what is like more cherished than a wonderfully hand knit sweater or a coat? Like that one's going to be a coat. Shetland's a lot softer than a Gotland, so I feel pretty good about that one being next to skin. So I think that is going to be an amazing sweater. I'm really excited about making that a sweater. And that's 3 pounds, so I might be able to do 2 sweaters. I don't know, we'll see. I'm getting ambitious here. I haven't spun it yet, so I might end up making like bulky yarn because of my skill level. But yeah, that's Black Dahlia, and she's just beautiful, and her fleece is gorgeous. I'm really excited. So there we have it. I skirted them, so they were already skirted, but I laid them out and looked them over, got rid of any bits if there was anything at all, just a few little bits here and there. If I found any seconds, which are second cuts, so when they get sheared, sometimes they do another pass, and when they do another pass, sometimes they cut like little short bits. You don't want that, because when you're spinning, that will cause like little bumps in your spinning, and possibly weak spots then as well. But yeah, no, I'm really excited, you guys. That was a huge purchase, but really, really well worth it. And I think just from seeing that, I think the process is going to be a lot better than the first couple fleeces I did. So I'm so grateful. So grateful for that, Lord. Thank you. I just don't want to. That was the first couple ones were like they're a process. So anyway, as far as life update, we are house hunting. We're still house hunting. Yes, we're those crazy people still looking for homes, but we've been looking for a while. We're looking for a very particular house. So this is not going to be a quick process, but we're hopeful. We're hopeful. Worst case, which is not a worst case, we would stay in our home. We have a very nice house. We are in a good area, and we are close to work, and that is something to be grateful for. That is for sure, and we are. So I don't want to, I'm not complaining at all. We live on a very busy road, so that's just something we worry about with our dogs, and yeah. And if we have children in the future, that's something that, we're worried about as well. So just trying to find a place that might be a little bit safer when it comes to the road end of things. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys are doing well. What have you been up to? Have you been knitting? Are you a spinner? Are you spinning? Because if you are, I would just love to hear what you're up to. It's like a rabbit hole that I'm diving down now, and it's so relaxing. Knitting is extremely relaxing, but spinning has its own level, and it's wonderful. So I'd love to hear about your process and what you're doing, and I'm all for it. Clearly, I've, I got a lot of fleeces. Oh my word. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care. Bye.